and welcome to the Artist Behind the Music UK series. Today we have Mitchell Kersley with us, all the way from overseas in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mitchell.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How are things over in the UK for you?
Dull at the moment.
Like everywhere else in the world. I feel like the world is kind of all living in the same feeling, same vibe, right?
I think like a lot of people, I'm just craving live music, and there's none at the moment, which is really sad. But yeah, hopefully things will get back to normal soon. There's words about a vaccine, etc., out now, so you never know. Hopefully soon we can get those music venues full of people again.
I hope so.
People dancing again, get people happy.
Absolutely. There's just something that feels so good about going to a concert and just feeling the music with a bunch of other people. It's just, I always say I really don't like crowds just in general. I actually hate being in crowds, but I love being on stage. So it's ironic. Like I'm good on the stage, but I don't like being surrounded by people. And I would always say this, and I'd always say, I got to be careful what I put out into the universe because I love crowds, but I just don't want to be in the crowd. And it's just very ironic that now we're in a time where crowds are just like not allowed. I should be more specific.
It feels really strange now. As soon as you get in a room where there's several people around, or even when I think about times when I've been in a crowded room or anything like that, it kind of makes me think, ooh, it's just odd. Like it's an odd feeling.
It really is an odd feeling.
Yeah, it is. It's like I don't know. And if you watch like if I've watched a film or something like that, and you see like a tube in London or something, you see the people sat there, you kind of like, oh, where's their masks? And then you remember actually they don't need them. It's not. It was before COVID. It's strange times certainly that we're living in, but.
Yeah, you know what, you said it very well. I mean, I was watching something the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many people in the mall.
Don't even think about it, do you? It's just, yeah, it's just sort of opened my eyes to it now, this whole thing, and yeah, just not being able to get close to people or in close proximity of people, which is a good thing in some ways. Like it's kind of nice in some ways, but yeah, in terms of just gigging, etc. Like live music, it is. I miss it. I miss it very much.
I hear you. Were you playing lots pre-COVID times? Were you?
Funnily enough, I wasn't. I haven't gigged in a little while. I've done the odd bit here and there, and kind of private gigs for sort of friends and or people that I know, little parties and things. I used to gig a lot when I was at university, and then I kind of just fell out of it, fell out of the habit of doing it. But it's kind of made me realise recently, sort of especially in the last year, how much I enjoy gigging, and how much I enjoy performing. Even doing these lives and things like that. I've done a few lives since the beginning of lockdown last year, and I really enjoy them. Really enjoy it. So for me now, I'm ready to get back on the circuit, get back on the stage, and get playing again.
Yeah, it's great. And it's, I mean, as much as live music is currently not existing, we have the technology to be able to still connect and still bring music to people in different ways. So on the positive side of things, we've been able to get really creative with how we connect and how we engage with different people and make new fans and all of those wonderful things. So I always try to focus on those lights, I guess, if you will. Like,
Definitely.
Totally. So what got you into music and started on this journey of your music career?
I have no idea. None of my family is particularly musical, to be honest. You find some people that are brought up and they're brought up by musicians, and that's how they get into it. But for me, it wasn't like that at all. I just always kind of, just from a young age, always loved music. Really enjoyed singing, etc. I was in choirs and things like that when I was a lot younger, and then it just kind of, my love and passion for it just grew and grew as I got older, and yeah, picked up the guitar, started learning the guitar, started singing more, and then realized how much I loved songwriting, and yeah, just kind of snowballed from a young age to where I'm at now.
That's cool. It's neat. I always find when people come from non-musical families, because we're all just kind of born with these different gifts and uniqueness, right? And you don't have to come from a family of musicians to love music and to start a career in music. I don't have any musical people in my family either. So I know my dad loves music, but he's no professional musicians, if you will, or hobbyists. It's just me. So I get it. I get it. It's just kind of you dabble in and keep moving forward. What is your favorite song that you have ever created and
I
why?
had created.
Yeah.
Ooh, um, I'm not too sure. I wrote a song for my mum's wedding a few years back. That's up there, just because that was um, very personal and very heartfelt. Um, and then I mean, I've got an EP coming out. EP coming out. EP coming out just before Christmas, so it's on the 18th of this month now, so December. Um, yeah, and there's a couple of songs on there I'm particularly proud of. Dusk, the title track, which I'll be performing today as well. That's definitely up there as one of my sort of proudest achievements in sort of songwriting, just because of how it came about and blah blah blah. And then there's another song on there as well, the last song on the EP, just because I taught myself slide guitar for it,
Oh, cool.
and did literally yeah. So I recorded all the slide guitar myself, and just it was over lockdown. I just decided, you know what, I want to learn something new, and I always loved the sound of a slide guitar. I've always been really into country and blues, so that kind of sound, just I love it. It really resonates with me. So I really wanted to learn how to play it. So, and that was kind of one of those things. When I was done and the recording was done, I listened back to it. I was like, wow, I actually, you know, I went through and learned and taught myself that, and I've played it there, and it sounds. I mean, it sounds good to me, but I don't know. I mean, if
You can
there
own your pride.
yeah, exactly. If there's some veteran like slide guitarist, they're probably going to listen to it and go, "What the heck is this?" But for me, for me, I was happy with it.
That's awesome, and we gotta celebrate those wins, right?
Yeah,
Learning new things and applying them and putting them out into the world. It's kind of a vulnerable thing to try something new and put the time into it and then showcase it off, right? So good for you. We have a slide guitar, and I've never really took the time to learn it. So you've inspired me. It's sitting out in the studio, and we have all the little notes are written on on the frets. It's a little bit different than regular guitar, so I
yeah,
appreciate people that can play.
yeah. I mean, I got quite excited when I was sort of going to buy the slides because they were like, "Oh, there's different ones." I was like, "There's different ones."
The whole
Like,
world.
like ceramic ones that are all these different colors, and I was like, wow, like a kid in a candy shop, just yeah, picking various ones and then just messing around with them. But yeah, it was great fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Cool. So let's talk about what you do to push through fear. So when you get scared of like if you have a big show or something big coming up and the nerves start to rise, what do you do and tools that you use to crush the fear and push through so the show goes on?
um I get quite bad stage anxiety, and that was one of the reasons why I kind of fell out of the habit of performing.
Mhm.
um and that's not a good thing, to be honest. I mean, you've just got to get up there and do it. It's just like you say, pushing through. I mean, I try not to think of it as a fear thing, and when you find sort of the adrenaline rushing up through your body, I like to try and sort of shake it off and try and just try and get the energy out before I go up on stage. But yeah, it's just a matter of performing more and more. I mean, the first live session I did just after lockdown, because it was the first time I played in a little while. I was very, very scared of doing it, but then after sort of my third, fourth one, it was like a walk in the park almost. It's like, oh yeah, done that, been there, done that, got the t-shirt kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any actual way that you could specifically get over that fear. Um, you've just got to fight it, I guess.
You do
um,
fight it.
there's no cure, sadly. But yeah, just keep on performing, and then eventually it'll go. Because I still absolutely get terrified at the prospect of performing live, and sometimes, I mean, there was a great quote that when I was at university, a guy came in. He was a bassist, and he played for like Rihanna and loads of really big artists. And he spoke about how when he got up on stage and he played, he found himself worrying so much about making a mistake that he found he was playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And I thought that was an awesome quote, because he's just playing on the safe side, trying not to lose, trying not to make a mistake. But he forgot why he's up there. He's up there to try and, give the song groove and show what he can do. And I really like that quote. I thought that was awesome, and that's something I've always sort of carried with me ever since I heard it.
Yeah, that's a great way of looking at things. It can be really nerve-wracking being on stage and staring at people, staring at you, expecting you to be something amazing because they came to see you, and just all that pressure. It can be very, very overwhelming. And I always find just coming back to the idea of, why am I doing this? Oh, because I love it. And then just focusing on that. That is the why.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, it always seems to help. How was recording your album that you released in December during COVID? Did you have it done prior to past year, or did you record it before COVID happened? What did that process look like for you?
Yeah, so I had a couple of songs already recorded. I've done all of my recordings at home.
Oh, cool.
Um, I've collected like various bits of equipment and microphones, etc., sort of over the years, just to try and build up a sort of relative home studio-ish kind of thing. And when I was at uni, I was learning how to record and recording techniques, etc. And I'd looked stuff up online. So yeah, I ended up with some decent sort of stuff that I was doing, and yeah, that's how I was doing it. And then when we went into lockdown, I found that I had all this time to sit and write and record, and I was like, this is great. Although it was very boring at times, and it was a very dark time for a lot of people, it was sort of like a blessing in disguise almost for me, in the fact that I could get this EP done, that I may not have got done otherwise. So I got a load of songs suddenly recorded that I was really happy with, and then used a producer to sort of tie it all together, sent it off to him. He was amazing. He's a really cool guy over here in England. Yeah, that's pretty much the process. Nothing too exciting, to be honest.
No, that's a very interesting process because not a lot of people can do it themselves. So, the fact that you built and learned the skills to be able to create during such a lockdown, isolating time, I think is a beautiful, beautiful gift. It was almost a gift to creatives, I think, to have some time to create and slow down and just kind of re-envision what they're going after in life and in music. So I think that's great. How did you learn how to record? Was that a big process? You sound like kind of a self-starter. Just, I want to learn that and learn.
Yeah, I mean, if I think there's something that I can do to kind of help myself, um, and do it myself, because I think that's a lot for sort of DIY musicians like myself, who are doing everything yourself. So you're promoting your music, you're making the music, blah blah blah. It's important to try and sort of add to your skill set, and especially recording. I found that's something that I've always really enjoyed as well. I've always really enjoyed the recording aspect of things, and learning about the DAWs and what they can do, because there's so much they can do. yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I think having that skill set to be able to record music is a great one to have. And on the note of music, I'd love to hear you rock out and play some of your new tunes that you have coming out, or whatever you
Yeah.
play. New, old, whichever.
So I thought I would play some stuff from the new EP that I hadn't actually played in ages since I recorded it. So I was kind of just sat here not that long ago listening to the song and then trying to work out the chords because I couldn't remember for the life of me how I played it.
Isn't it funny how
But
you write it and you created it, but it's like just goes to another place in the mind sometimes.
100%. If you ask me all the chords in the songs in the EP, I couldn't tell you. I could tell you a couple of them, but that's about it. It's so easy to sort of forget.
That's
But
why
yeah.
practice is so important.
So this is called Dusk. This is the title track of the EP, which is also good, called Dusk. Yeah, I'll just play it.
Beautiful. I can't wait.
Last night I reached out for someone who wasn't there, for the emptiness of the cold winter air, for all the reasons I could find for her to stay. She had 10 more for walking away. The whiskey that I sip helps me forget the times that I pushed you away. You're on my mind, and all I have left are pictures on a shelf. The colors have faded to gray, withered by time. The sun has set on us. The sun has set on us. And now that I dwell on the times that we shared, only wish I showed you how much that I cared. But I couldn't give you the time that you need. I just stood back and watched our love recede. The whiskey that I sip helps me forget the times that I pushed you away. You're on my mind, and all I have left are pictures on a shelf. The colors have faded to gray, withered by time. The sun has set on us. The sun has set on us. Whiskey that I sip helps me forget the times that I pushed you away. You're on my mind. All I have left are pictures on a shelf. The colors have faded to gray, withered by time. The sun has set on us. The sun has set on us. And that's that one.
That was beautiful. I love that song.
Thank you. Did that come through okay on the microphone?
It did, yeah. And I love the line, the whiskey that I sip helps me to forget the times that, like, just the cadence of that feels really good and it sticks in the mind. So
Oh,
well
thank
done.
Yeah, that's the title track, and yeah, it's kind of a weird one that because there's a solo in that song. So that's, when I was playing that a minute ago, I was kind of like, right, what do I do in that
Was that the slide guitar solo?
section? Not on this one, funny enough. Um, but yeah, it's a funny one. Whenever you sort of write a song, I'm sure you know as well, when you come to do an acoustic version, and it's like, well, what do I do here? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, good fun.
And that's what I love about stripping songs down is that you can kind of recreate it to reimagine it to be something different. And a
Yeah,
great song can be kind of taken and put in many different aspects.
yeah, definitely.
But
100%.
no, it was a great song. When you're writing, do you typically like to write alone or do you like to write with people?
I write alone. That's not by choice, though. That sounds really lonely, doesn't it? I'm not that lonely, I promise. Yeah, no, it's just a process that I have written with other people before, and it's good fun. Um, but I quite like sort of sitting by myself and writing and yeah, having that process to myself. I find it's a very soothing and healing sort of process,
Mhm.
especially if you've got something troubling your mind, just to sit down, get it out on paper, and especially singing about it as well. Singing is an amazing thing, and it's really, yeah, healing for the mind. But yeah, not that I'd ever be against writing with someone else. I'd be happy to. In fact, I'd welcome it. I'd love to. It's something that I'd really like to do. But at the moment, everything I've sort of done on the EP, etc., has been written by just me.
You. No, that's great.
Me,
That's perfect.
little old
I always
me.
find it interesting people's different styles of, what they prefer to do and what, works best for their creative process. And I think that shifts and changes over time and depending on what you're going through or what state you're in, then it's always a different thing. Yeah.
Yes,
Well, I'd love
definitely.
to hear another song if you're ready. You ready?
Uh, yes, I can do. So that was the first song on the EP, and this is the second one. This is called 17, and it's kind of about love um, taking you back to a time, or making you think about a particular time in your life that resonates with you. Um, in fact, instead of explaining it, I'm just going to play it, and yeah, and we'll see. So, she makes the worst cup of coffee that I've ever tasted. I dare not say a word, 'cause she'd be devastated. And it's funny when she makes a mistake, a curse word slips out. See, she has the purest of souls, the dirtiest of mouths. She takes me back 17, my first beer on a Friday night. The first time I heard Elvis sing, and saw fireflies decorate the sky. She uses up most of the closet and the bathroom shelves with clothes, shoes, bags, and makeup. Lord knows what else. She watches more trash TV you would ever believe. We can't even watch a movie without falling asleep. She takes me back 17. The first time I ever drove a car. First time I picked up a 6-string, poured my heart out on that guitar. She takes me back 17. My first beer on a Friday night. The first time I heard Elvis sing, saw a firefly decorate the sky. She takes me back 17. The first time I ever drove a car. First time I picked up a 6-string and poured my heart out on that guitar. She takes me back. That's that one.
Beautiful, beautiful song. You know, you've got a wonderful tone to your voice that gets gritty and it goes up into the higher register, and you can really just access such a wide variety of tones and notes when you're performing, and it just sounds very, very nice to listen to. So thank you so much for sharing. You know, something else I noticed I love about UK artists and their voices, hints of your accent likes to pop out of while you're singing. Where I find like Australians, for instance, they just sound completely North American, like they don't have an accent at all. And I find in UK artists, they just have this slight little accent.
That comes in now and then. I've been told my voice, like when I sing, can take an American accent, which naturally it will. I mean, a lot of the artists that I listen to.
Oh yeah.
And country music has always been sort of my love since my teens. So so that's what I sing. So I guess you pick up what you sing, don't you?
Totally.
But yeah, I'm glad you said that actually, because that's quite nice to hear that. Keeping my roots.
Keeping your roots, yeah. I find when anybody sings, it's so interesting to me how it just comes out. I don't want to say American or Canadian or North American, I guess would be a better way to lump us in all together. But yeah, it just doesn't matter where you're from. That North American sound comes out, and I just find it so interesting. But then again, I guess the pop culture really comes from the States, so that's what's being fed out into the world. So maybe that's something just to do with the ear, and that's what you hear, so that's what you do.
Definitely.
Yeah. So cool. Well, it's been so great to have you on the show. I love chatting with you and hearing you perform live. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Crystal. It's been really awesome. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, good. Good, good, good. I always like to sum up these conversations with the question, if you had one message to share with the world, what would it be?
Wow, that's a big question. This is going to sound really, really, really cheesy. But just be kind to one another. That's it. Just be nice. If everyone's nice to each other, then the day is just a lot easier. And you don't know what so and so is going through. You don't know what other people, what's going on in their mind, etc. So just being nice to people, just smiling, that can just really go a long way. So that would be my message: is just be nice, smile.
I think that's a perfect message and not cheesy at all. It's so funny. Everybody always says something like, oh, it's cliche or cheesy, but honestly, those simple things are the things that we need. That's what it comes down to, the simple perfect things like being kind. So thank you for sharing that reminder. Well, that's great. Well, thanks again, Mitchell, for being on The Artist Behind the Music. I look forward to listening to your album and sharing it with the world to hear.
Amazing. Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.